p.m., Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Florida Marlins. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Marlins finishing up their year's work. The Dodgers have won 2, the Marlins have won 3. Last year they split the 6, so the Dodgers trying to do that tonight and win 2 out of 3 and stay on the heels of the Padres. It will be a tough chore. The Dodgers have Hiroki Kuroda coming off the worst start in his big league career last time out against Arizona. He'll bring a record of 7-6. On the mound for the Marlins, the big fish, Josh Johnson. I mean big both ways. He's 6'7", but more than that, he is a dynamite pitcher with a record of 8-3. He'll come with an earned run average of 1.8. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
We have good news. San Diego has lost to the Nationals, so the Dodgers have sliced into that lead again. 2.5 games as we begin play tonight. Our Alexis pursuing perfection. Dodgers win last night, 7-3. It was the long ball, starting with Matt Kemp going deep.
That ball was absolutely waffled, and he has been a different player since he got talking to there, I guess. Is that a word, talking to?
Sure.
Casey Blake goes deep, and then this guy, this is the important one. And that's just a nice, easy swing from Andre Ethier. He's got a 5-game hitting streak. He's hitting 400 during that period of time. And, hey, he's still second in the National League in batting at .322. It's important for him to get back to that form that he was at before he got that finger injury.
Jim Watson and Steve Lyons in center field, so that's my question. We know his importance to this lineup, that he's really got to get things going. how close is he getting back to form?
It's coming back right now. I mean, there's no way he was going to be as hot as he was before he got hurt. But when he came back, he wasn't anywhere close to it. Now he's back. I think he's feeling much better at the plate. You know that finger still bothers him, but he's not letting it worry him anymore.
Dodger offense is going to have to contend with Josh Johnson tonight. He has been ridiculous. He might get the starting nod in the All-Star game. And Hiroki Kuroda looking for the bounce back after that awful performance in Arizona. But he beat Florida in his season debut. See you after the game.
Wednesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers take the field here at Dodger Stadium for the final game of the three-game series with the Marlins, the so-called rubber game, and also the final meeting of the year between these two. And the series is up for grabs. The Marlins have beaten the Dodgers 3 times. The Dodgers have beaten them twice. Dodgers trying to do what they did last year and split with the Marlins. And it's kind of important if they can come up with a win tonight, because the Nationals beat the Padres 7-6, and in that game, big Adam Dunn hit 3 home runs. The Cardinals, meanwhile, are leading the Rockies 5-2 in the 5th inning. Matt Holliday homers for the second straight night against his former team. And the Giants are pounding the Brewers 11-1. They've had home runs from Andres Torres, Aubrey Huff, and 2 from Buster Posey. As if Tim Lincecum needed that, he's got him, and he's breezing 11-1. Here's the lineup now for the Florida Marlins. Chris Coughlin, last year's Rookie of the Year. He's in left field. Gabby Sanchez at first base. All-Star Hanley Ramirez at short. And third baseman Jorge Cantu. At second base, Dan Uggla. In center field, the former Dodger Cody Ross. Behind the plate, the big catcher Ronnie Paulino. In right field, the pride of Notre Dame Academy, Mike Stanton. And pitching and hitting ninth, Josh Johnson. On the mound for the Dodgers is Hiroki Kuroda, and we should get it out of the way immediately. The first inning of every game is killing him. His earned run average in the first inning this year is 9. And if you remember, he had probably the worst start of his major league career when he went up against the Diamondbacks and immediately got into hot water, gave up 3 runs and 4 hits in the first inning, and then gave up 3 more and he was gone. So we will see how Kuroda goes up against a really tough pitcher in Josh Johnson. And Kuroda will be facing Coghlan, Sanchez, and Ramirez. So Chris Coghlan checks in, left-hand batter, hitting .277. He has 5 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Kuroda into the windup. Hiroki deals in the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. So he starts with a fastball and hits the corner. 0-1 the count. Coghlan has 1 leadoff home run this year, a total of 5 for the season. And the pitch to Chris waved at and missed. 0-2. Coghlan last night hit by a pitch and went 0 for 4. In the first game, he was 1 for 5. So just 1 for 9 in the series. 0-2 the count to Chris Coghlan. Kuroda into the windup, hesitates, deals, and there's a comebacker. Hiroki has it, lobs it to first in time for the out. 1 away, and the batter now will be Gabby Sanchez. Here are the Dodgers with the leather: Anderson, Kemp, and Ethier, Blake, Furcal, DeWitt, and Loney, and the battery of Martin handling Kuroda. So with 1 out, Gabby Sanchez, the right-hand hitting first baseman, checking in. Gabby had an 8-game hitting streak late in June. Right-hand batter hitting .305. 9 home runs, 38 runs batted in, and the first pitch gets away at the plate. 0-1 the count. For Sanchez, the Marlins are hoping that they will have back-to-back rookies of the year with Coghlan last year, and they think Gabby might pull off the trick this year. So the right-hand hitter batting .305. Kuroda deals, a little breaking ball away, kind of a high slider, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Sanchez followed by Hanley Ramirez. Gabby waiting, and the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's on the outside corner for a strike. Well, there have been a couple of Gabbys in baseball. Certainly Gabby Hartnett, the famous catcher from years ago with the Cubs. The 1-2 pitch on the way, and a slider swung on and missed, and it was a hard slider just under 90. So Sanchez goes down swinging. 2 out here in the first inning, and Hanley Ramirez coming up. Hanley Ramirez 1 for 4 last night. It was a single that didn't figure in the game at all. He was 1 for 4 in the first game with a scoring fly ball. So 2 for 8 with a run batted in. Ramirez hitting .298, 13 home runs, 53 runs batted in, and certainly one of the outstanding young players in the game. So Hanley Ramirez waiting, and the first pitch to him in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Hanley was the Rookie of the Year in 2006, and then the batting champion in 2009. So Ramirez, 6'3", 185, 26 years old, way out in front of a pitch that was off speed. It was a slider, but not nearly as hard as the one he just threw to Sanchez. So Hiroki Kuroda, who couldn't throw a strike in Arizona for whatever reason, has retired 2 in a row, and the strike 2 pitch to Hanley Ramirez. Hiroki deals in the dirt, kicks away from Martin. 1-2 to count. If you look at Hiroki Kuroda going up against the Marlins, you see that Cody Ross has a home run against him. Cantu had a home run against him. But for instance, Ramirez hitting just .250, and Cantu on deck hitting .333. So with 2 out, a 1-2 pitch coming up. Kuroda ready, hesitates. Here he comes, way outside. Great save by Russell Martin on a slider that exploded and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. So the fellas with the .333 batting averages against Corona, only one of them playing, and that's Cantu. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hanley Ramirez. Bends at the knees, kind of concave as he bends over the plate. And the 2-2 pitch, little dribbler, going to be a tough play, charging and shoveling just in time is DeWitt. So Ramirez, a little ground ball, and for a guy who had a lot of trouble in the first inning this year, he breezed tonight, and at the end of half an inning, no score. Sharp slider and set the Marlins down 1-2-3. Here's the Dodger lineup now, and it'll be Furcall, followed by Kemp and Ethier. Loney hits cleanup, and then Casey Blake. Anderson in left field, Martin, DeWitt, and Corona. On the mound, the big fish, and that would be Josh Johnson. He is 6'7", 250-pounder. Last year he was 15-5, and right now he is 8-3. Might have even a better record. In his last 4 starts, the Marlins have gotten him a total of 5 runs. So the big right-hander ready to go to work, and here is Rafael Furcall ready to test him, hitting .336. Fastball is high. Furcall ran up as if to bunt. 1 ball and no strikes. Rafael has a 10-game hitting streak, and he has scored in 12 consecutive games. The 1-0 pitch, he slaps it foul. He was on the move, shades of Ichiro. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rafael Furcall. What he was really trying to do is bunt on the run and hit it toward shortstop. But the 1-1 pitch on the way, full swing foul, and the count 1-2. Let's find out a little bit about Josh Johnson. Since the Tommy John surgery that he had, almost an anniversary, July 10th of 08, he is 30-9. The 1-2 over the top fastball a little high at 94, and the count 2-2. Since the middle of April, he's made 15 starts, and only 1 time has he allowed more than 2 earned runs. Furcall fouls another one off. He allowed more than 2 earned runs first week in May against Washington. He's had now no earned runs 4 times, 1 earned run 7 times, 2 earned runs 3, and 3 earned runs once. I mean, he's dynamite, and so will Furcall agree as he's caught looking for strike 3. So 1 away here in the first inning. We'll set the Marlins for you. They have Coghlan, Ross, and Stanton in the outfield. And they have Cantu, Ramirez, Ugla, and Sanchez on the infield. They have Paulino handling Josh Johnson. So 1 out in the first inning. And the batter now, Matt Kemp. Matt hitting .267. He has 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in. He hit a brute of a home run here last night. And Johnson's fastball is swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. Matt, among other things, third in the league, having scored 57 runs. Bill, the big right-hand hitting center fielder waiting. The even bigger pitcher works a fastball inside, and the count 1-1. Johnson hits 95 and 96. He's out of Jenks High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the 1-1 pitch on the way is swung on and fouled off, 1-2. That shook up Ronnie Paulino a little bit. So timeout for the moment. Ronnie got that thing and it just ate him up. Hit him around the chest and ribs. In fact, just below the collarbone. So timeout. He's going to have to walk that thing off. So while Paulino takes a breather, we can tell you a little bit more about Josh Johnson. He has a brother, Tyler, who was an outfielder at the University of Oklahoma. And he has another brother, Micah, who was a teammate of Brad Penny at Broken Arrow High School in Oklahoma. When Josh was on rehab in the minor leagues, that would be 3 years ago, he treated all the players on the Jupiter team to a big meal. Then when he advanced to Carolina, the kids at Carolina said, no, we don't need a meal. So what he did, he bought a 42-inch plasma screen television for their clubhouse. The 1-2 pitch is low, 2-2 the count. So Josh Johnson, basically fastball, slider, changeup. 2-2. Right-handed nod, yes. Kemp waits at the plate, pokes it foul off to the right upstairs, second level. Another hard slider. So 2-2 the count. Ronnie Paulino, okay now behind the plate. 2-2 to Matt Kemp. 1 out, first inning, no score. Dodgers have won 8 of the last 12. And the 2-2 pitch is foul back again. And another 95-mile-an-hour fastball. At 6'7", he's able to move that fastball. In fact, those who have faced him say he really can't throw a ball straight. It always has some movement on it, either running down and away, rising. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Kemp, swung on and fouled on his foot. So Matt hobbling a little bit around the area of home plate. That was only 92, but by the time he finished fouling it, it really took a bite out of him. So timeout. 1 out, bottom of the first, no score. And the foul ball hitting him on the back foot. And that's rare in big league time. They are so quick. Their bat speed is so fast that most of the time they'll foul the ball off the front foot. So that was probably one of those fastballs that darted the other way. And that's the thing about Johnson. He comes in 8-3 with an earned run average of 1.8. Yes, Virginia, he's not only on the All-Star team, he'll probably pitch. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and he just took care of him with a great changeup. Of course, his changeup would be a pretty good fastball for a lot of people in the mid-80s, and Kemp lunging at it, down he goes. So with 2 out in the first inning and no score, Andre Ethier checks in. Ethier 5 for 10 against Johnson, so he's given him a bad time. Ethier, of course, has been giving a lot of pitchers a bad time, hitting .322. So a couple of all-stars, and Ethier takes a strike. They're going head-to-head now, and they will be teammates next week. 0-1 to Andre Ethier, 14 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Big Johnson back again, and there's a chopper to first, backing up for the hop is Sanchez. Feeds Johnson coming over, and that's that. So the Dodgers go quietly in the first inning, and at the end of an inning, no He was 3-1 in the month of June. He made 16 pitches to retire the Dodgers in order. And now we take a look at the second inning, and Jorge Cantu will start it off. Cantu, right-hand hitting third baseman, 10 home runs, 50 runs batted in out of Reynosa, Mexico, and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Jorge batting .261. So Cantu, who can do, checking in, and the strike one pitch on the way is swung on, hit in the air, and dropping for a base hit in front of Garrett Anderson. So Cantu opens up the second inning with a single left, and that'll bring up Dan Uggla. Baseball, a tough sport. Following last night's game, Chris Volstad, who started for Florida, was optioned to AAA New Orleans, and the Dodgers put reliever Ronald Belisario on the restricted list. Vicente Padilla, of course, gave the Dodgers a tremendous lift last night with a great performance, and Carlos Monasterios now is here replacing Belisario. So here's Uggla, and the right-hand hitter takes inside, ball 1-1-0. That name Uggla is Swedish and stands for owl, and he's hitting .278, 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in. Out of a stretch goes Kuroda, the 1-0 pitch, and that's low and away. Ball 2, 2-0 the count. Cantu over there at first does not do any running. He has not been involved in a stolen base at all this year. Held on by James Loney, and Uggla trying to move him around. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Kuroda out of a stretch. Right-hander comes back. Fastball grounded into left field for a base hit. So all of a sudden now the Marlins back-to-back base hits, opening up matters in the second inning. And with first and second and nobody out, Cody Ross coming up. Cody Ross, the former Dodger, and in last night's ball game had 2 singles. So Cody has hit in 11 straight here at Dodger Stadium. In the first game of the series, he was 1 for 4. Last night he was 2 for 4 with somewhat of a memorable at bat. It occurred in the 4th inning. He had a 12-pitch at bat. He fouled off 8 pitches, and the at bat took 8.5 minutes. Cody, right-hand hitter, hitting .292, and he promptly hits one foul off to the right. Martin coming over with Loney, but only to take a look. It's well back in the crowd, and the count 0-1. So Cody Ross, a solid ball player with the Dodgers briefly in 2005 and 6. Then he went to the Reds and then the Marlins. Been with the Marlins basically since 2006. Cody's from New Mexico and was originally drafted by the Tigers. His dad, while playing football at the University of New Mexico and steer wrestling, had 5 knee surgeries. Tough guy, and so is Cody. The strike one pitch, instead, Kuroda backs off the rubber. No balls and 1 strike to count. Kuroda fussing with the strings of his glove. Now ready to plant that right foot on the rubber, and Cody's ready to get back in and face him. Ross, 5'9", a little over 200 pounds. He'll be 30 a couple of days before Christmas. Strike one pitch coming to Cody Ross. Fastball, line drive by the diving DeWitt into right center. Scoring easily is Cantu. With Uggla, they will hold him at third on a long double by Cody Ross. And the Marlins are on the board 1-0. So Cody continues to come back here and give the Dodgers a bad time, and especially in their own ballpark. He has now hit safely in 12 straight games at Dodger Stadium. A bullet just by the diving try of Blake DeWitt and into the gap in right center field. So 1-0 Marlins, and they're not finished. They have second and third. Nobody out. Paulino, Stanton, and Johnson due up. Cantu bringing in the run. So Kuroda with first base open, facing Paulino, hitting .293. And the first pitch to Ronnie is high and away, ball one. Paulino 1 for 4 last night and 0 for 4 in game one. So just 1 for 8. Paulino on a 1-ball, no strike count. Check swing and a dribbler back to Kuroda. The runner's hole. So a meek tap for Paulino, and the runners nowhere to go. Ugla and Ross. So 1 away, and the batter will be Mike Stanton. So a frustrated Paulino, not quite ready to do what he was thinking about, which is slam his helmet down. Instead, he walked it quietly back into the dugout. Mike Stanton, the boy from Panorama City and Sherman Oaks and Notre Dame Academy. In his very first at-bat at Dodger Stadium the other night, he doubled a left and scored a run. He's hitting .222. Mike, right-hand hitter, 20 years old, takes high. Ball one. Last night, Stanton, who spent a lot of time coming here as a fan, had a dream come true. He had a 2-run home run in the 7th inning and a base hit to drive in a run in the 9th. So he had 3 RBIs last night. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Mike. Kuroda with the infield up on the right side, swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stanton has struck out 38 times while walking only 6, which of course is a sign of a kid just starting and learning the ropes. And an interesting figure, he's had 2 strikes as a count against him over 72% of his at-bats. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Mike Stanton. Swung on, and a high fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Anderson right at the bullpen gate, and it carries out. Mike Stanton hits his 2nd home run, and I mean it was a bomb. Anderson kept going back and just ran out of room. He has relatives here, has Mike Stanton, and they are ecstatic, as you can well imagine. So the 20-year-old comes back and makes a dent. He will not be 21 until the 8th of November. He's 6'5" and 230. Anderson backed into the gate and watched the ball disappear into the Dodger bullpen, and it's 4-0 Marlins. And the pitch now to Josh Johnson is in for a strike. So Stanton, his 2nd straight game with a home run, gives him 4 this year. What a product he will be as he matures. 1-1 the count to Johnson. Dave Winfield, Hall of Famer, a big fan of Mike Stanton. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Johnson, a big swing and a miss, and the count 1-2. Johnson, a home run in the past. He has 4 RBIs and 5 hits this year. Now the 1-2 pitch coming up to Josh. Swung on and missed, and down he goes. However, the Dodgers see Stanton put up a big number, and Kuroda's not finished as Chris Coughlin is coming up. Mike Stanton, 20 years old. Spent a little bit of time in the minor leagues. Came up, and for the first week in the big leagues, everything he hit was hit hard. Then he hit the skids. Then he was hitting about $150. But he has perked up here. And just think of his last 3 at-bats. 2-run home run, RBI single, and a 3-run home run. So 4-0 Marlins. Kuroda's pitch to Coughlin fouled away, and the count 0-1. So Kuroda had so much trouble in the 1st inning, but tonight he breezed through the 1st only to get clobbered in the 2nd. So Coughlin back up. No balls and 1 strike. Strike 1 pitch on the way. A check swing, and it's high. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you took all of Kuroda's games, last 8 starts, his earned run average in the 1st inning was over 14. but from the second inning on, his earned run average was 2.6. Tonight, he fooled us. Tonight, he had a 1-2-3 first inning, and all of his troubles jump up and bite him here in the second. 4 runs, 4 hits for the Marlins. Kuroda rocks and turns. Hiroki's 1-2 pitch a little low. Coghlan started his swing, held up. Ed Hickok says no swing, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kuroda standing back of the rubber, now up on top, right on the edge of the first base side of the rubber. And Hiroki's 2-2 pitch to Coghlan is taken low and inside, ball 3. So Hiroki Kuroda came in 7-6. 35-year-old looks down the barrel to get a sign from Russell Martin. And the 3-2 fastball is a ground ball smothered by Blake DeWitt, who throws to first for the out. Big play by Blake, depriving the Marlins of their 5th hit in the inning. But they still get 4 runs, 4 hits. Stanton's a blast, and it's 4-0 Marlins. That, and it's 4-0 Florida. Bottom of the second inning, Loney, Blake, and Anderson coming up in that order. James hitting .302, 5 home runs, 57 runs batted in. Johnson's fastball in for a strike. So Loney, who's been so consistent, followed by Blake and Anderson as the Dodgers try to get out from under. The strike 1 pitch in there. For Josh Johnson, of course, it has to be a wonderful feeling. In his previous 4 starts, collectively, they got him 5 runs. Tonight, they get him 4 in 1 inning. And the pitch to Loney is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. After Loney's at bat, we want to show you what happened to the ball that Mike Stanton hit. 1-2 pitch fouled away. We saw Garrett Anderson go to the bullpen gate. And then when the ball disappeared over the gate, we saw Garrett kind of stare, and we'll show you what he was staring at in a minute. 1-2 the count to James Loney. 4-0 Marlins, and the fastball away. 2-2. Loney 1 for 10 against Johnson in the past. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Ground ball up the middle. Moving to his right is Ugla and throws him out. 1 away. Okay, let's go back to Mike Stanton and his home run in the second inning. Anderson goes to the gate, and the ball is going to wind up right in the catcher's mitt that's sitting on top of a pile of equipment. It was a great catch, only the glove was not on anybody's hand. Anderson couldn't believe it, and the Dodgers finally retrieve it. So here's Casey Blake, and he takes a strike. 0-1. So Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks has produced a kid who has broken in with a bang, Mike Stanton. Strike one pitch on the way, just off the plate. Check swing, but no swing, says Marty Foster. And the count, 1 strike. Casey hitting .262, 9 home runs. He hit number 9 in the third inning last night. Hits one down the right field line foul into the stands. And the count 1-2. Casey Blake going head-to-head against Josh Johnson. And Blake is 3 for 5 in the past. 4-0 Marlins, bottom of the second inning. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and down he goes. Third strikeout for Josh Johnson, and it'll bring up Garrett Anderson. Fastball that just ran away off the right-hand corner. So Blake goes down swinging. Johnson has struck out 3 and retired 5 in a row. And here is Garrett Anderson. Anderson hitting .188, but he's actually been swinging the bat far better than those numbers would indicate. He has 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in, backs off on a strike, and the count 0-1. Garrett 3 for 10 against Johnson, including a home run. Hits a ground ball on his knees is Gabby Sanchez, underhand to Johnson. And that's what Anderson has been doing now, maybe 4 or 5 at-bats. A ground ball to the first baseman. And at the end of 2, 4-0 Marlins. Gabby Sanchez, Hanley Ramirez, and Jorge Cantu in that order. If you joined us late in the second inning, Cantu singled, Uggla singled, Ross doubled in Cantu, and Stanton hit a 3-run home run to give the Marlins a 4-0 lead. Sirota ready, bends a breaking ball, but it stays up. Ball 1-0. Sanchez struck out in the first inning. Gabby, a Miami boy, born, raised, lives there, went to school there. Takes the next pitch a little high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. There are 3 Sanchez's on the club: Anibal Sanchez, Gabby Sanchez, a third, Gary, and that swung on and fouled away. The other Sanchez ends that Sanchez with an S instead of a Z. Gabby went to the University of Miami. His family owned batting cages in Tamiami Park. Guess where he grew up? Swinging an aluminum bat. 2-1 pitch on the way is off the plate. His dad, when he was very small, would place balls on the tee, and Gabby would let it fly. 3-1 the count. Kuroda ready and Hiroki deals, and it swung on, lifted to left center. Kemp appears to have a play and does, and makes the catch without leaving the grass. 1 away, and Hanley Ramirez coming up. You know, a reminder, Saturday you can take photos of your favorite Dodger on the field before the game. On-field photo day presented by Staples starts at 11:10, followed by the Dodgers and Cubs. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. 1 away here in the 3rd inning. Hanley Ramirez, a little roller to Blake DeWitt in the 1st inning. Hanley 0 for 1, hitting .295. Into the windup goes Kuroda. Fastball fouled off. 0-2 the count to Hanley. Ramirez superbly gifted. The start of this year, he had a career batting average of .316, and he had hit 103 home runs. First batting champ in Florida history. Did that last year when he hit .342. Strike 1 pitch on the way is fouled off. 0-2. Ramirez was originally signed by the Boston Red Sox. He was disciplined for having an on-field incident down in the Sally League. Got angry about something, made a gesture to the fans. Good kid, just every now and then will get ticked off. Strike 2 pitch on the way, and it's high, ball 1. Another thing that got him ticked off, before last season, the Marlins forbade players from wearing long hair and sporting jewelry on the field. And the get a haircut policy was put in by team president David Sampson. There's a note of irony there, with a man named Sampson demanding the players to get a haircut. 1-2 the count to Hanley. Well, he took it as a personal affront. During spring training, he had a Sharpie and scrawled, "I'm sick of this ... on a t-shirt. I'm angry. I want to be traded." You know, one of those things. The 1-2 pitch waved at and missed, and he can take that back to the dugout. 2 out. So for Kuroda, he struck out Sanchez in the 1st inning, got Johnson in the 2nd. Now he nails Ramirez. And with 2 out, the batter Jorge Cantu, who singled to left field in the 2nd inning. Cantu the cowboy. Yeah, kind of. The first pitch in for a strike. His father has an 8,600 working cattle ranch in McAllen, Texas, just across the border from Reynosa, Mexico. And during the off season, you find him on his horse, riding the acreage. By the way, the name of Cantu's horse, Titanic. Marlins lead the Dodgers 4-0 in the 3rd. Some of that extra acreage Jorge has converted into a white-tailed deer reserve. The strike 2 pitch on the way, a check swing and a hopper just foul outside of first. So it's still 0-2 to Jorge Cantu. Cantu signed out of a junior Olympic event in his native Mexico when he was 16, before he had finished high school. So back in '99, after the season, he went back and graduated. Lifts one foul, Loney will call for it inside the coach's box, now in front of it, makes the play. So for Kuroda, the first inning and the third inning a walk in the park. But the second inning, and it's in favor of the Marlins, and the Dodgers now will have Russell Martin, Blake DeWitt, and Hiroki Kuroda. Russell hitting .246, 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. His dad is here. Very nice man. Martin is 1 for 3 last night with a walk, and 1 for 4 the game before, and hits the first one in the air to right center, but it's playable. Moving to the track is Stanton, reaches up and makes the play. So Martin a long out to right field, a young Mike Stanton, and the batter Blake DeWitt. So be sure to join the Dodgers Friday night, 7:10. The Cubs are here, and the first 20,000 fans take home a limited edition Young Guns poster featuring the Dodger pitching staff, presented by MSI Computers. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. One away, Blake DeWitt checks in. Johnson ready, fastball over the top, but it's outside, ball 1. Josh Johnson has retired 7 in a row. DeWitt hitting .274, and the left-hand hitter takes a strike. Blake with 1 home run, 29 runs batted in, 0 for 5 in the past against Johnson. Now the 1-1 pitch, and that's taken low, ball 2, 2-1. Johnson has made 28 pitches in the first 2 innings, 5 of 6 first pitch strikes. Now the 2-1 pitch to DeWitt, ground ball to short. Ramirez up with it, and he takes dead aim and throws him out. So 2 out in the third, 4-0 Marlins, and Hiroki Kuroda coming up. Kuroda with the bat has 1 hit. He has struck out about half the time. The one thing he does very well besides pitch is sacrifice. He has 7 sacrifices. High man on the pitching squad is Clayton Kershaw, who has 9. By the way, talking about Kershaw, he's on the mound tomorrow night here against the Cubs. 1-1 the count to Kuroda. So Wells and Kershaw, Lilly and Billingsley, Garcelanic and Eli, and Silva and Padilla. But right now the Dodgers have their hands full with a big fish, Josh Johnson. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball in there. See you later. So 9 in a row retired by Josh. He has struck out 4, and at the end of 3, it's 4-0 Marlins. Where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. A lovely evening, a little bit on the cool side. The starting pitcher, Josh Johnson, puts on his windbreaker. So here we are in L.A. talking about a relatively cool evening, overcast skies, and back east they're talking over 100 degrees. Dan Uggla followed by Cody Ross and then Ronnie Paulino. 4th inning, 4-0 Marlins. Uggla, powerhouse, 5'11", 200, 30 years old. His first year in the big leagues, he really made an impression. He had 83 extra base hits in 2007. He had 49 doubles, 31 home runs, and 3 triples. That got everybody's attention. And he promptly has a fly ball single into left field. So Uggla, 2 for 2. And the batter now will be Cody Ross. We mentioned the story last night. It's kind of a cute story, and we're not going to see the Marlins again. Cody Ross was struggling when he was with the Marlins. And Hanley Ramirez had an empty can of Skol. I guess that contains snuff. Anyway, he said to Cody, "Here, put this empty can of Skol in your hip pocket for good luck." And so Ross did, and they were going to play the Braves. Foul back, out of play, 0-1. Anyway, Ross came up to hit. Peter Moylan made a fastball inside. Ross tried to get out of the way of it, and it literally and figuratively hit him right in the can. It dented the can, and Ross finally said, "It was nice of Hanley to give it to me, but it has served its purpose." 0-1 the count. But you take that simple story and you think about the word can. 0-1. Another strike. In some of those hard-boiled mystery stories, they talk about going to prison, going to the can. Or you've heard people talk about going to the bathroom. "Excuse me, I'm going to the can." Imagine how tough it is to learn this language. 0-2. Poke foul. Cody just puts the bat on it to stay alive. Boy, did he put on an exhibition last night with 8 foul balls in one at bat. Brody's had about 350 plate appearances, and he has struck out 68 times. 7 home runs, 45 runs batted in. And a fly ball to right field. Ethia has to come and get it on the dead run, and does, falling down as he lost his balance, but he made the play. So Ethia almost out of town the way they were playing Cody Ross, and he came a long way to make the catch. Towards the foul line and coming in. Fine play by Andre the All-Star. So 1 out, and the batter is Ronnie Paulino. He had a check swing comebacker in the 2nd inning, and then Mike Standen came in and drilled one. Ball 1. One other, you said that word can. I was thinking in the Navy they talk about the destroyers and the destroyer escorts. They're tin cans. In fact, there's a magnificent book about World War II called The Tin Can Sailors. Wow. 1 ball and no strikes. That's a strike. 1-1 to Paulino. Big catcher originally with the Pirates. And Kuroda looking over towards the Dodger dugout for a moment. 1-1 to count. Paulino 6'2", 225. Originally signed by the Pirates back in 1998 and came up in 05. Came to the Marlins in 09. So you have Uggla at first with 1 out, 4-0 Marlins, 4th inning. And that's thrown away. Getting up and moving on after looking backwards is Uggla. He wasn't quite sure at first where the ball was, and then he moved along. So Kuroda having a lot of problems, and Loney unable to handle the throw. It'll be an error charged to Kuroda. Uggla had 2 stolen bases, and the throw right in the ribs of Uggla before bouncing away. Dan's okay. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 1 out, 4th inning, 4-0 Marlins. A shattered bat, little ground ball to short, up with it for call, high throw, and off the bag is Loney. The Rafael Furcal on that broken bat made it close, but the throw was high, and Paulino safely aboard.
Number 27, Mike Stanton.
And the batter now will be Mike Stanton. So with runners at first and third, Stanton, who homered in the 2nd inning, coming up. It'll be an error on the throw by Rafael Furcal. So Uggla, on 2 errors, has arrived at third. Kuroda with 1 out, trying to get Stanton, the young right-hand hitter. And the first pitch, a strike. Stanton, 6'5", 230, has the small features of an athlete. You could see him be playing almost any sport, including boxing. One ball and 1 strike. For Mike Stanton, a lot of people were interested in him. UNLV wanted him on a football scholarship and an opportunity to walk on to play baseball. USC wanted him on a baseball ride with a chance to walk on football. 1-1. Fastball, 1-2. Earlier,
Stanton unloaded. That was with 2 men aboard in the second inning. And he hit a mile-high fly ball towards the Dodger bullpen, over the gate, and right into the catcher's mitt with no catcher. So Stanton has 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Went to school at Notre Dame in Sherman Oaks. 1-2. Two and two. When Mike Stanton was a sophomore in high school, he was 5'11", and by the time junior year started, he was 6'4". Remarkable growth spurt. 3-2. So Kuroda's been burned by him and goes all the way. When Mike Stanton made his major league debut in Philadelphia, his dad came across to watch, and he went 3 for 5 and scored 2. 3-2 to Mike. A fake and a look and nothing else. Paulino at first, Ugla at third, 1 out, 4th inning, 4-0 Florida. 3-2. Breaking ball, soft line drive to Furcal. It was a slider, and he hit it off the end of the bat. So Stanton hits one at Furcal, 2 down. And the batter will be Josh Johnson, who struck out in the second inning. So the Dodgers trying to overcome 2 errors here in the 4th inning, and they look to Johnson as a way to escape. And a strike. For Kuroda with a runner at third, we should point out he has 8 wild pitches, far more than any other pitcher. But of course he throws a splitter, and it's the old story, live by the splitter, etc. So Ugla at third, Paulino at first with 2 out. 1-1. Throwing as high as 94, so against the opposing pitcher, you wouldn't think he'd need a splitter. Johnson 5 hits, 4 runs batted in. 1-2. First and third, 2 out, 4th inning, 4-0 Marlins. Down and dirty. We'll repeat the fact we gave you some scores. The Giants were breezing against the Brewers. Last we heard it was 11-1 in the 6th inning. Cardinals were beating the Rockies, and the Nationals defeated the Padres 7-6. Adam Dunn hit 3 home runs. Two and two. And a roller to the right side to Witt. He'll take it to the bag. So no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors, and 2 left. And at the end of 3.5, it's still 4-0 Florida. tonight. He took care of Furcal looking. Then Matt Kemp went after a change. Then he got Casey Blake on a fastball. And finally, Hiroki Kuroda looking. So he has 4 strikeouts. He's retired 9 in a row. And in the 4th inning, Josh will be facing Furcal, Kemp, and Ethier. His strikeout to walk ratio, a little better than 4-1. Rafael Furcal ran up and tried to slap a bunt and fouled it off, and then eventually went down on strikes, hitting .335. Ball 1. Johnson, by the way, last year had 191 strikeouts. And he's behind 2-0. Update on a couple of the scores. The Giants 15 and the Brewers 2 in the 8th inning. Ground ball to Ugla. 1 away. The Cardinals leading the Rockies 7-4 in the 8th inning. And we mentioned Padres lost again. Washington Nationals beat them 7-6. Although I guess we should say Adam Dunn beat them. Matt Kemp struck out in the 1st inning. He got the whole store, fastball, slider, and then a great changeup that just sunk. And a strike. Slider. On deck, Andre Ethier. Off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Josh Johnson out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. 6'7", 250 pounds. Inside for ball 2. Couple of things about his pitching. He's had 6 no decisions, and during those games, his earned run average was 2.6. Remarkable. A 1-hopper to Ramirez. Hanley winds up. 2 down. You know, the Dodgers opening day outfield comes to life with a series of collectible action figures. The next giveaway game tomorrow. And the first 15,000 kids, 14 and under, receive their own Captain Clutch, presented by Claim Jumper Restaurants. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. 2 down in the 4th inning. Here's Andre, grounded sharply to Gabby Sanchez, lost a base hit. He was 5 for 10 before tonight against Johnson. 0-1. Johnson, one of the reasons he's been so successful, he is 2nd in the league in 0-2 counts on the hitters. 1 ball and 1 strike. He is 2nd in walks and hits, averaging for 9 innings. He's had 1 4-pitch walk. Just 1. 1-2 the count. %51 of the time, just like he is now, he's ahead of the hitters. 1-2. 2-2. His earned run average, to show you just how amazing he is, it rates better than Ubaldo Jimenez. That's a drive to right, and Ethier, who is 5 for 10, is now 6 for 12 against him. And that breaks the spell. 11 in a row had been retired, and Ethier a single to right, and that'll bring up James Loney. Andre kind of sweeping at that pitch. He didn't roll his wrists over as you see him do so often. He just squared the ball, as they say. letting Larry Bowen know there's 2 out. So here's Loney, rolled Ugla in the second inning, 0 for 1, hitting .301. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Ethier around second and will go to third as Ross gets it back into the infield. So Ethier singles to right, Loney singles up the middle, and with 2 out, first and third, the batter will be Casey Blake. Now Casey Blake had some success the last time the Dodgers faced Johnson. He went 3 for 5. Didn't stop him from striking out, however, in the second inning. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Marlins, no runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Final meeting of the year between these two. Last year they split 6. Right now the Marlins have won 3 of 5. And right around the corner, Lou Piniella's Chicago Cubs for 4. Fastball, strike. Ethier at third, Loney at first, 2 out. Foul tip that fastball, 0-2. So there you have it again. Isn't it remarkable? And you know what he's done with an 0-2 count? He has allowed 1 hit in over 135 0-2 counts. 1. See what Blake can do. Way outside. 1-2 the count. He had 96 with the fastball that time. First and third, 2 out, 4th inning, 4-0 Marlins. Got him. So Johnson comes up with his 5th strikeout, striking out Casey Blake twice. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. And at the end of 4, 4-0 Florida. Into a catcher's mitt for a 3-run home run that made it 4-0. Meanwhile, Edwin Rodriguez, who'll be 50 in August, born in Ponce in Puerto Rico, enjoying his time as the interim manager, replacing Freddie Gonzalez. And a one-hopper to Furcall off the bat of Coghlan. One away. One out in the fifth. Gabby Sanchez has struck out, fly to center, 0 for 2. Gabby hitting .303. 9 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Strike. Sanchez had the mark after he was signed by the Marlins. Didn't take him long to be recognized as the organization's minor league player of the year. That was 06. 1-2. He was originally drafted by the Marlins out of high school, but he accepted a scholarship to the University of Miami. He was a high school All-American, a business management major at the University of Miami. Fouled away. Sanchez, 26. He'll be 27 in September. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. He had 16 home runs in the minor leagues last year, and he has 9 right now in the big leagues. Off the plate. 3-2 to Gabby Sanchez with Hanley Ramirez on deck. One out. 5th inning, 4-0 Marlins. Still up there hacking away, 3-2. Hanley Ramirez waiting. Fouled away. The Marlins have done a pretty good job during this series of not striking out. Padilla got him 8 times last night, but they came in here second highest number of strikeouts in the league. And that's lifted, shortstop for call. 2 down. Well, we have tonight's trivia question for you, so we'll dust it off.
Shortstop, Hanley Ramirez.
Hanley Ramirez won the National League batting title last year. Who are the only 3 shortstops ever to win 2 or more batting titles? Well, we talked about Hanley and the haircut and the President Sampson demanding all the players clean up their acts. He started last year on a sour note because the team had a policy against jewelry on the field. Well, when he won the batting title, he got a necklace encrusted with 394 diamonds in the shape of a .342 batting average. There was a decimal point in front of the batting average, of course, and the decimal point was a teal colored gem. The owner gave it to him. 1-1. Big hopper to Casey Blake. Had to fight that one within the lights. Nice play. So Ramirez goes 0 for 3, a quick inning. It's the odd innings, 1, 3, and 5, where Corona Anderson, followed by Russell Martin, and then Blake DeWitt. It is hard to believe that it could happen back to back, and yet partly so. And we're talking about the Rockies and the Cardinals in Colorado. That's a strike. Last night, you may remember, the Rockies were losing 9-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-1. They scored 9 times. The tied up game was won on a 3-run home run by Seth Smith. 12-9 in favor of the Rockies over the Cardinals last night. That's a strike. Well, in the bottom of the 8th inning tonight, Dexter Fowler has just hit a game-tying 3-run home run against Jason Mott. That game is tied up 7-7 in the 8th. And down goes Anderson. 6 strikeouts for Josh Johnson, and the batter will be Russell Martin. For Johnson, his high, and he picked it up this year, he struck out 12 Padres back in April. And with 6 strikeouts, he now has 121 this year. 0-1. If the Dodgers get anything started, they're certainly thinking about a hitter for Kuroda. Carlos Monasterios gets up, having just rejoined the club tonight. Ronald Belisario has been put on the restricted list. Personal reasons. 0-2 the count. Russell hitting .245, 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. He's the middle of another grueling year, averaging 150 games each of the last 3 years. 0-2. Got him. Fastball. Wow. That's the 3rd consecutive strikeout for Johnson. He has now struck out 7. Russell doesn't agree with Field and Culbreth. By the way, remember the trivia all about the only 3 shortstops ever to win 2 or more batting titles? Honus Wagner, wow, 7 times. Luke Abling twice. And Omar Garciaparra twice. Strike. Another note on that, prior to Ramirez, no National League shortstop had won a batting title since Dick Groat of the Pirates in 1960. And I remember very well that Dick Groat beat out Dodger first baseman Norm Larker by, a point. Slow roller. Johnson can't get it. Sanchez left the bag, and there's no play. Tough play. The ball wasn't hit hard enough for Ugla. And when Johnson missed it, Sanchez tried to come over, and he couldn't do it either. We'll see the official scores ruling in a moment. And it's going to be a base hit. So here's Kuroda. 2 out and a runner at first. Ball 1. Pure and simple, Kuroda is not a good hitter. And not just looking at the fact that he is 0 for 27, but he doesn't look anything like a hitter. He has a tendency to back away like an American League pitcher who hasn't had any at-bats. 2-0 the count to Hiroki. But one strength for him for sure with the bat in his hand is when he is asked to bunt. 2-0. And would you believe, 3-0. Kuroda 0 for 27, has struck out 13 times, and Johnson is 3-0. A strike. Just going to mention again the fact he's had only 1 4-pitch walk this year. DeWitt at first, 2 out, 5th inning. Marlins 4 runs, 5 hits. Dodgers no runs, 3 hits. Big difference, 3-run home run by Mike Stanton in the 2nd inning. Another strike. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. There goes the runner, and the ball fouled away. The Kuroda actually fouled off a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Of course, you talk about Hiroki being 0 for 27. There have been some absolutely pitiful pitchers trying to get a base hit in the major leagues. Fouled away again. They're all the same spot, 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. Preacher Rowe with the Dodgers was a terrible hitter, and yet one day in big Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, Preacher Rowe did the impossible. He hit a home run. But not this time. And for the first time tonight, Johnson strikes out the side. He has struck out 8. No run to hit, a man left. 4-0 Marlins. All-Star game in 1933. On this day in 1937, the first Dodger pitcher made it, Van Lingle Mungo. And 22 years later, in 1959, Don Drysdale pitched in his first All-Star game. He retired 9 consecutive hitters, leaving the National League to a 5-4 win. And with that, let's go back to this one. We are certainly looking at an all-star pitcher tonight in Josh Johnson. He has struck out 8 in 5 innings. He has only made a total of 72 pitches. And Cantu, Ugla, and Ross will be coming up here in the 6th. Hit off the end of the bat, kind of cued to Casey Blake. 1 away. Kuroda has done well, retiring the side in the 1st inning, in the 3rd inning, and in the 5th inning. He got into trouble in the even innings, giving up 4 runs in the 2nd inning, and pitched his way out of a jam in the 4th. So now Dan Ugla, who is 2 for 2. Right, 0-1. everybody knew Uggla was going to be something special in his first year. In the last 50 years, only 4 National League rookies had 20 or more home runs and more than 75 RBIs, and Dan was one of the 4. That's a strike. Who are the others? Albert Pujols, Orlando Cepeda, and Frank Robinson. And he strokes that into the gap. That'll go all the way to the wall. Uggla will steam into second base, and the Owl is 3 for 3. Last night, Cody Ross had an 8.5 minute at bat. We're not going to take up all that time, but look at this. On and on and on it went. Padilla and Ross. Cody fouled off 8. And it was a 12 pitch at bat, and then he fouled out to Lone. Tonight, he has doubled and lost a hit on a diving catch by Ethier. Strike. Yeah, you look at it that way and you say, my, how time flies. Cody batting .293, 7 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Check swing foul. Cody really didn't have much of a look here. 5 years ago, he had 25 at bats, 4 hits, hit 160. Then in 2006, he had 19 at bats, and he moved on. And now we're happy to say he has really established himself as a solid player for the Florida Marlins. He'll be 30 December the 23rd. 1-2. People say that he reminds them a little bit of Craig Biggio, probably because he's 5'9". Last year in April, in one of those wild runaway games, he pitched a scoreless 9th inning. He gave up 1 hit. They were playing the Phillies, and they were getting their eggs scrambled, and he gave up a hit to Jason Worth, but no runs. And for Cody, well, he's one of those players who got your attention early. His first major league home run, a grand slam. He did it as a Dodger, joining Darryl Strawberry as the only players in Dodger club history to do something that no one else has done. The game where he hit the grand slam home run, he also hit a 3-run home run. That would be in 2006. Chases the slider, breaks the bat, and out he goes. 2 down. Uggla takes third, and the batter will be Paulino.
Catcher number 29, Ronnie Paulino.
Paulino came up with second and third in the second inning, checked swing and dribbled it back to the box. Then in the 4th inning, he reached on the high throw by Furcal. Paulino, 3 home runs, 28 runs batted in. And a strike. You know, I'll be darned. I was just thinking. The other day, I was asked, on a ball hit back to the pitcher or through, you talk about the ball is hit through the box. And I said, no, I don't think I say that. It must be somebody else. And I just said there's a ball hit back to the box. And the question was, there's a batter's box, but what about the pitcher's mound? It just seems like way back when I first started to get an interest, they always talked about balls hit back to the box, to the pitcher. Darn, yeah, I say that. Dummy. 2-2. Ugla at third, 2 out, 4-0 Marlins. The Dodgers are in a box in the 6th. Fastball, another shattered bat. Ground ball to Furcal, and that'll be that. So Ugla's double is wasted. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. And at the end at 5.5, 4-0 Marlins. Doubled, hit a little fly ball, and Andre Ethier on the freeze cam backhands it and goes to his knees as he lost his balance, and that kept Ugla anchored at first base. So it is still 4-0 Marlins. Ethier has had a hand with the glove, and in a moment he'll have a hand with the bat. It's for Call, Kemp, and Ethier. Josh Johnson just struck out the side in the 5th inning. He has struck out 8. And that's fouled at the plate. And that took a bite out of Paulino, so he's going to have to walk that off. 0-1. That's the old school. Take a foul and stick your hand in the dirt. But it didn't help much. He's big and tough back there. The second time he's been hammered. And it is certainly no walk in the park handling a guy throwing 95 and 96. All right, he's ready. 0-1. And a little pop fly. Ramirez goes behind Cantu. 1 away. And for Call now 0 for 3. And the batter, Matt Kemp. The Dodgers have a couple of hits, 2 singles in the 4th inning and an infield single in the 5th. They have managed to hit 1 fly ball to the outfield. Martin hit it to deep right center, and Mike Stanton ran it down. Ground ball smothered by Cantu, up and at him, throws him out. So Cantu, and we have 2 out in the 6th inning. Nice play by Jorge. And the batter now, Andre Ethier. Josh Johnson leads the majors in ERA. He's allowed the 3 singles, struck out 8, and look at that, 32-0 when getting 4 runs of support. Another Hyundai key to the game. So here's Ethier, who's the 1 Dodger, hitting .500 against Johnson, 6 for 12. Ball 1. Grounded to Gabby Sanchez, who made a diving stop to take a hit away from him, and then single to right in the 4th inning. Off the plate. 4-0 Marlins, 2 out in the 6th. And that's off the plate. So again, remember, he went 3-0 to Kuroda, of all people, and then struck him out. Now goes 3-0 to Andre Ethier. And there it is. I believe that's only the second 4-pitch walk that Josh Johnson has given up this year. Only the second. It's his first walk of the night. And the batter will be James Loney. Well, I'll be darned. They did it again. Big catcher Chris Iannetta just completed the latest Rockies comeback with a 9th inning walk-off home run. And the Rockies turned it around on the Cardinals again and beat them 8-7. Wow. By the way, I noticed too that the Rockies put Todd Helton on the DL, having the worst year of his career, and Todd bothered by a bad back. 1 ball, no strikes. That's in there. Rockies began the game 4 back. Remember, San Diego lost. So the Rockies are 3 back of San Diego. 1-1. That's the change. 2-1 to count. Casey Blake on deck. Johnson had made only 72 pitches in the first 5 innings. Big Johnson has 1 complete game. Nunez, the closer, has 18 saves. Ground ball, base hit. Stopping at second is Ethier. So with 2 out, the Dodgers get a walk and a single. And the batter will be Casey Blake, who struck out twice. Four runs, 6 hits for the Marlins, no runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Paulino talking to Johnson about how they want to pitch Blake. They've struck him out twice in the 2nd inning and again in the 4th. Casey hitting .260. He had 9 home runs, 34 runs batted in, and in the past was 3 for 5 against Johnson. And a towering foul ball. Now let's see if Paulino or Cantu can get under it, and it's Cantu who almost bumped into Garrett Anderson and made a solid play. So no runs, a hit, a walk, and 2 left. And at the end of 6, 4-0 Marlins. first pitch strikes, and he's gotten 10 ground balls. And the batter is Mike Stanton. And it was Stanton who hit the 3-run home run in the second inning, and then a soft line drive out to Rafael Furcal. Mike hitting .228. 1-1. And he drives it to left. Anderson going back on the ball and makes the play. So Stanton a long out to left field, 1 down. Dodgers have been throwing a little leather at the Marlins. Case in point, slow roller. And this time Blake DeWitt making the off-balance play. Next time Blake smothering a bid for a base hit to throw a man out. And finally Cody Ross lifting one. Ethier making the catch. But it's not enough, not yet. It's still 4-0 Marlins. A drive to straightaway center to Kemp. And down goes Johnson. Not a bad hitting pitcher, I guess. Hit into a force play and now a fly ball to center. 2 down. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 7th, as Hiroki now has reached 100 pitches, they will have Garrett Anderson, Russell Martin, and Blake DeWitt. And if anybody gets on, Kuroda's spot. We've already had Carlos Monasterios throwing once behind him. If you joined us late, in the second inning, Cantu singled, Ugla singled, Rose doubled in one, and then Stanton hit the 3-run home run, and that's it. Chris Coghlan 0 for 3. 1 for 12 in the series. Right. When Coghlan arrived here, they were talking about what a hot hitter he was. Since the 31st of May, he was hitting .377, but they have chilled him here. He is 1 for 13 in the series. Kuroda makes it look easy, and at the end of 6.5, 4-0 Marlins, and the crowd now asked to join in the singing of God Bless America and take me out to the ball game.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in the singing of God Bless America, accompanied by Nancy B. Please welcome back actor and singer Doug Scarborough.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Florida, bottom of the 7th inning, and Josh Johnson working to Garrett Anderson, Russell Martin, and Blake DeWitt. He's allowed 4 hits, 1 walk, while striking out 8. However, he failed to get a strikeout in the 6th inning for the first time tonight. That's a strike. 0-1. And a high fly ball, but playable. Stanton and Ross, and it is Stanton, 1 away. Now I can come up with a reasonable explanation for using a term. First of all, I had forgotten I even used it. The idea ball hit back to the box, ball hit through the box, etc. Also, you know, they'll say the pitcher has been knocked out of the box. And I guess I just took it for granted. Been doing this long enough to do that. It's a strike to Martin. In the early days of the game, there was no mound, and the pitcher was required to release the ball while inside a box drawn on the ground. And even though the mound has replaced the box, the terms are still used. That's kind of scary, though, that I've been saying things for 60 years not knowing what I was saying. No, it's not scary. It's me. I'm in the box. What was it? Senuensis. Easy for you to say. And that's whacked into left center and deep. Back to the Island. It's off the wall. Backed up by Ross. Martin will hold with a long double. So Russell Martin sends Chris Coughlin into the pads in left center and doubles. There's Cody Ross coming over to back up. Chris came close. So Martin standing at second. How close? That close. Ball actually landed just behind his left wrist. So DeWitt now trying to pick up Martin. Xavier Paul comes out on deck, and down in the Dodger bullpen, Justin Miller begins to warm up. So Martin, a 1-out double here in the 7th. Fastball, 2-0. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Marlins. No runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. 2-0. And a strike, 2-1. If you're thinking about the Dodgers making a comeback against Johnson, he has allowed 4 home runs so far this year in about 121 innings. 2-1. And ball 3. He has walked 1. He walked Ethier with 2 out in the 6th inning. Martin with a double, 1 out. And a fly ball down the left field line, slicing foul, and out of play. Blake DeWitt hitting .276. He has a home run and 29 runs batted in. Three and 2 to Blake. A pickoff but no throw. Hanley Ramirez trying to take a step away from Martin. Normally what will happen in many instances, the pitcher will look into the catcher, and the catcher will give him a pickoff sign for a play at second base. And that's popped in the air. Cody Ross started back, but it's high enough for him to come in, and of course Martin has to hold at second. So 2 down, and Xavier Paul coming up. Xavier Paul batting for Hiroki Kuroda. Checks in hitting .257. Xavier started last night, went 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. So for Hiroki Kuroda, 1 bad inning, not the first, the second inning tonight, and all 4 runs came home. A strike. Dodgers have gotten 1 man to third. That was Ethier in the 4th inning. You have Martin at second with 2 out here in the 7th. 0-1. Hiroki Kuroda went 7 innings, allowed 4 earned runs, struck out 4, allowed the 6 hits, no walks, 1 bad inning. That was the 2nd inning, ruined his night. Back to normal, however, with no walks. 0-1 to Xavier Paul. And that's lifted back a third down the line. Ramirez and Coughlin, and it's Coughlin. So no runs, a long double by Martin, but nothing else. And at the end of 7, 4-0 Marlins. And by Jack Daniels. We have reached the 8th inning, and the Marlins leading the Dodgers 4-0. Ronnie Paulino talking to his pitcher, Josh Johnson, who has his arms covered up. Johnson has been magnificent. We talked about the fact the Dodgers were going to be in for a tough night to beat him. He is, without a doubt, one of the truly outstanding young pitchers in the league. And look at those numbers. 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. could be tiring a little bit in the sense after getting 8 strikeouts in 5 innings, he has not gotten a strikeout in the last 2 innings. We'll see. Meanwhile, Justin Miller picking up for Hiroki Kuroda. And Justin facing Sanchez, Ramirez, and Cantu. Oh, and 2 the count. Miller's contract purchased from Albuquerque on the 27th of May. Sanchez 0 for 3. Struck out, fly to center, popped to short. Off the plate. And got it. So Miller comes in, takes care of Gabby Sanchez, and the batter will be Hanley Ramirez. So Miller, following on the heels of Kuroda's strikeout of Coghlan to end the 7th, gets Sanchez, and here is Ramirez. 0 for 3 tonight. Now, Ramirez is a fellow who has normally done very well here, but they have shut him down basically in the series. Hanley Ramirez put some big numbers up playing here at Dodger Stadium throughout his young career. 1-1 the count. .421 career batting average. Best for any active player, 50 or more plate appearances. And this time he grounds one up the middle. DeWitt refuses to quit, but by that time the play is long over. So Hanley Ramirez gets himself an infield single, and that'll bring up Jorge Cantu. Ramirez 1 for 4. Ramirez winds up 3 for 12 with a scoring fly ball in the series. Cantu single to left, fouled out to Loney and grounded to third. There goes Ramirez. The throw is behind him. If he stays on the bag, and he was able to do that, he has the base stolen. So Hanley Ramirez didn't hang around long. He took off and steals his 16th. Impossible for DeWitt to get him unless he came off the plate, because the ball sailed, and you can see DeWitt had a lunge towards right field. Now he's just hoping that Hanley handily keeps his right hand on the bag. And he's stolen 16 out of 21. Four to nothing Marlins. Ramirez at second, and Cantu trying to pick him up with Dan Uggla on deck. No balls, 1 strike. Challenged him with a fastball, 0-2. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th inning for Call, Kemp, and Ethier. Pulled on the ground to Blake. So 2 down. Ramirez, with the ball hit ahead of him, has nowhere to go. And the batter will be Dan Uggla. Don't forget the All-Star game. It'll be right on Fox. Every thrilling moment of the 2010 Major League All-Star game. And the coverage begins Tuesday live from Anaheim, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Dan Uggla, 3 for 3 tonight. 2 singles and a double. He has scored once. And ball one. Ugla now has his batting average up to 285. 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in. Ugla needs 6 more home runs to become the Marlins' all-time home run leader. 2-0. Mike Lowell, the third baseman for the Red Sox, when he was with the Marlins, he was their all-time home run leader with 143. So Hanley Ramirez at second. 2 down, 8th inning, 4-0 Florida. That's a strike. 2-1. Dodgers with the top of the order coming up in the 8th inning. Dodgers have been shut out 8 times this year, 3 times at home. And this is their 42nd game at home. 2-1. Ball 3 with Cody Ross on deck. Kuroda went 7, gave up 4. Justin Miller trying to get some outs here in the 8th inning. Marlins 4 runs, 7 hits. Dodgers no runs, 5 hits. Slider away. So the walk to Ugla as he bids for a perfect night. 2 on, 2 out, and here's Cody. Ross doubled, lost a hit on that running and then sliding catch by Ethier, and last time up grounded out. Cody batting .292. He is one tough player. Foul back. Back in 2003, Cody tore the anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee. Surgery was required. He got in his car, drove to Toledo, cleaned up the apartment, drove back to Detroit the next morning, and then had the surgery. All that with a torn up knee. Little ground ball to Blake. Casey the short way, and that's that. No runs, 1 hit, a walk, 2 left. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. Josh Johnson has struck out 8, and he started off the night against Rafael Furcal. Then he went after Matt Kemp. Later on in the second inning, he got Casey Blake. He knocked out Kuroda twice and got Blake a second time. Then it was Anderson, followed by Martin and Kuroda again. 8 strikeouts for Josh Johnson. However, for the Dodgers, perhaps an encouraging sign. He has not had a strikeout since Kuroda in the 5th inning. And we're now in the bottom of the 8th. We'll see what that means, if anything. And Furcal 0 for 3 at the plate. Ball 1. Johnson has walked 1. That was Ethier. In there. Rafael hitting .332. He has that 10-game hitting streak on the line, 0 for 3. And remember, he has scored in 12 straight games. 2-1. Ground ball right at Gabby Sanchez. 1 away. So Johnson now has Kemp and Ethier back to back. Matt Kemp is 0 for 3, struck out, grounded out twice. Fastball strike. So the big fish, the kingfish, Josh Johnson, 6'7", 250. 0-1. Another strike. Two of the great commandments about being a successful major league pitcher is to get the first pitch over for a strike and get the leadoff man in every inning. Well, he has gotten every leadoff man through 8 innings. And he's had 19 of 26 first pitch strikes. He's only had 2 3-ball counts. And he has walked 1, Ethier. Only, I believe, his second 4-ball walk this year. 1-2. And that's fouled away. Johnson finished the 7th inning, having made 98 pitches. And looking at what he has done this year, highest pitch count 118, the end of June against San Diego. Now that was close, but it was not a fastball. If it were a fastball, it might have gotten him. 2-2. That was in the high 80s, which of course is fast enough. Overthrew on that pitch. 3-2. So his third 3-ball count. And line drive, base hit to left field. So with 1 out, Matt Kemp goes 1 for 4. And the batter will be Andre Ethier. Meanwhile, for the new manager of the Marlins, Edwin Rodriguez, who spent 8 years in the Florida organization, now has a chance to be at the wheel. Played for a couple of years in the big leagues with the Yankees and with San Diego. 1 on, 1 out. Here is Ethier. Grounded out hard, single to right, and walked on 4 pitches. Ball 1. Ethier, coming into the game, had been 5 for 10 against Johnson. So two of the All-Stars going head-to-head here in the 8th inning. Matt Kemp at first base has stolen 13, but he's also been caught 10 times. 1-0 to Andre Ethier. And ball 2. Johnson is being backed up in the bullpen. Right-hander Jose Veras and left-hander Taylor Tankersley. He has one complete game, and this will be pitch number 112. And it's a high fly ball, very playable. Coughlin is there. So Ethier goes 1 for 3, and with 2 out, the batter will be James Loney. Leo Nunez, who is the closer, has 18, but he has not thrown a ball yet in the Marlin bullpen. They have Barris and Tankersley. Nunez has the same number of saves, 18, as Jonathan Broxton. So here's Loney. Grounded to second, single to center, single to right. 2 for 3 and 3 for 10. Average back up to 305. Ball 1. On deck, Casey Blake. Johnson has to be tiring, and it's usually reflected in the inability to get the ball down. There goes Kemp, big jump, and steals it easily. And when you talk about Johnson tiring, it's reflected in the fact that in his first 5 innings, he allowed 1 fly ball. That was a fly ball by Martin in the 3rd inning. In the last 2 2/3 innings, 6 fly balls. Now trying to get it down. He's too low. So he's in the 8th. He has to be pushing it with 2 out, leading 4-0. See Paulino gesturing with his right hand. Let's go over the signs again. Two and 1. And ball 3. Well, he still hits 95 with 2 out in the 8th inning. Three and 1 to James Loney. Ground ball, up with it at first is Gabby Sanchez. So the Dodgers left Martin at second in the 7th. They left first and third in the 6th. They leave Kemp at second in the 8th, and it's still 4-0. in the bullpen, and that's it. All 4 runs in the second inning, like a bolt of lightning. For Josh Johnson, 117 pitches, and it looks like he might be through for the night, but we'll wait and see. Meanwhile, here's Ronnie Paulino. 0-2 the count. Well, Johnson still has the windbreaker on, but he is still sitting there, so we'll see if they run him back out there or not. There's no one throwing in the Marlin bullpen. And that'll do it for Paulino, who goes 0 for 4. So 1 out in the 9th inning. And the batter will be Mike Stanton with Wes Helms coming out on deck. So that's the story on the big Josh Johnson. He'll give way to a pinch hitter. Stanton has 1 hit tonight, but it's huge. A 3-run home run in the second inning. And a strike. Has a little bit of the Charlie Lau hitting style as Johnson gets a hug from Hanley Ramirez. Stanton, left leg slightly extended, but all of the weight back on the right leg. He's hitting .226 with 2 home runs in this series. He has 4 and 19 runs batted in. And strikes out. So Miller picks up 2 quick strikeouts in the 9th inning. 4-0 Florida. And here now is Wes Helms coming up. Wes Helms appeared as a pinch hitter last night and flied to center. He started the first game, had a walk and a single, and went 1 for 3. Helms, normally a third baseman, but a power coming off the bench. And ball 1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th, they'll have Casey Blake, Garrett Anderson, followed by Russell Martin. 1-1. West 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Since 2005, Wes Helms has the most pinch hits among all active major leaguers. He has 68. That's lifted to Ethier in right field. Okay, that's the top of the 9th inning. 1, 2, 3. Nice job for Justin Miller. 8 tremendous innings, made 117 pitches, and now they give the ball to Jose Veras. They also move a couple of people around. Wes Helms, who appeared as a pinch hitter, stays in the game and played third base. Jorge Cantu, who had been at third base, moves over to first base. And the pitcher, Jose Veras, in his 11th game with a 1-0 record and a very high earned run average. So Veras from the Dominican Republic. He was originally signed by the Devil Rays. He's another big fella. He's 6'5", 235, and he'll be 30 in October. At one time, he signed with the Yankee organization, wound up with the Yankees in 06 and 07. He was with the Yankees again in 08 and 09. So Joe Torre knows him very well. Tomorrow night, it'll be Wells and Kershaw with the Cubs in town. Ball 1 to Casey Blake. Casey struck out twice, fouled out. Made the third out, striking out in the 4th inning with runners at first and third. Fouled out with first and second and 2 out in the 6th. 1-1. Casey hitting .259. He has 9 home runs, 34 runs batted in. One and one. Good breaking ball, but it ran off the plate. Big curve. 2-1. Fastball fouled away. 2-2. According to the gun, looked like they put up 97. Now the closer, Leo Nunez, begins to stretch it out down in the bullpen. 18 saves. 2-2 the count to Casey Blake. Got him. Off speed, hit the inside corner with that curveball. Casey Blake not about to argue, but he strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. It is the first Dodger to strike out since Kuroda in the 5th inning. It is the 9th Dodger to strike out tonight. So Veras picks one up. And now Garrett Anderson. Grounded to first, struck out, fly to right. Paid attendance tonight, and most of whom spent the night sitting on their hands. Dodgers thoroughly stopped by Josh Johnson. Ball 1. Paid attendance 41,947. Don't forget the Cubs will be here starting tomorrow night. Wells and Kershaw, then Lilly and Billingsley. Way out in front of that. 1-1. Great changeup. Garrett hitting .183. He has 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Talking about the Cubs, they're beating the D-backs 8-3, and they're in the bottom of the 9th over in Arizona. 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike. And that's lifted back a third, down the line, slicing foul, and back into the crowd. The winner. So Kershaw tomorrow night, Billingsley Friday night, Eli Saturday, Padilla comes back on Sunday. Dodgers then have the All-Star break. Then they go to St. Louis And when they come back, it'll be the Giants and the Mets. 2-2. Breaking ball down and dirty. So Anderson strikes out. Veras comes in, strikes out the first 2 hitters, and the batter will be Russell Martin. Jose Veras certainly doesn't look like a guy with an earned run average of almost 6. Strikes out the first 2 batters. He's walked 6 and struck out 17, almost 3-1. And here's Martin. Fly to right, struck out, lines to short to end the game. So the Marlins come in, beat the Dodgers tonight 4-0. The Dodgers shut out for the 4th time at home. And for the Dodgers, they lose the opportunity to pick up on San Diego. The Padres lost, but remember, the Rockies won. So the Colorado Rockies come from behind, and they join the Dodgers in second place, 3 games back. And here come the Cubs, and we'll be talking to you then. Stay tuned for